Podcast City Network.
Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show. A shot of entertainment to the head. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the entertainment.
What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Everett Lee Show podcast. I am Everett Lee. Quick shout out to everyone that follows me on Twitter. You can follow me at the TheEverettLeeShow, Facebook.com/Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up. And of course, Podcast City Network, the official host of the Everett Lee Show. Joining me on the program, I have none other than actress, film producer of Bouncy Boxer Media, and in the upcoming movie Hot Mess in a Wedding Dress. I want to welcome to the program tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Lexi Balestrieri. Am I saying that right?
Balestrieri, but it's okay. I'm used to it. I won't get insulted if you say it wrong. It's Italian.
Okay.
People can't even say it right, let alone spell it. So.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. I should have asked you before we went live how to pronounce your last name because I'm gonna mess it up. And I had Chelsea Wolf on. I was trying to say it, and she said it the right way. And it's interesting. I like it. Italian. So
thank you.
You're welcome. Did you come from a big Italian family?
Kind of. My dad's side of the family is Italian.
Mm-hmm.
My paternal grandpa was like right off the boat Italian. Like
right.
They came off of Ellis Island when he was a kid, and my dad grew up in Pennsylvania, and my grandpa was I don't even know what order he was in, but there were a lot of kids in his family. And then my grandpa went on to have 7 boys with my grandma, and my dad's the youngest of 7.
Wow.
So, yes. It's really different on my mom's side because it's just my mom. Like, she has half-brothers that she met later on in life, but it was just her for a long time. So, like, one side, it's, like, really quiet, and the other side, it's, like, loud and crazy. Yeah, Christmases were fun, though. I will say that.
Oh, I can imagine. I can only imagine, man. That's just like my family. My dad, he was the oldest of 8. My dad was the oldest, and of course, he raised like 9 kids. He had 6 that were his own and 3 stepchildren. And we all had the same dad, but different moms. So I got a lot of half-brothers. Other than that, we're all halves.
Nice.
Yeah.
So holidays were also crazy.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was crazy dysfunctional. It was nuts at times, but we all love each other and we get along. We bicker and everything like siblings and stuff. And of course, when my older brothers and me, we get in the same room, of course, who are they going to pick on? They're going to pick on the youngest.
Of course. That's how it always goes.
Mm-hmm.
Funny, because I mentioned, my big Italian family. I'm an only child, by the way. So I had limited exposure to the chaos. Like, we didn't, I mentioned Christmases, but it was mostly like my cousins,
mm-hmm.
and there were a lot of us, and I was the youngest granddaughter, or the youngest grandchild before the grandchildren, or the great-grandchildren, rather.
Wow.
So I was the youngest, and yeah, so again, I had limited exposure to all of the crazy, but it was definitely there.
Yeah, that's how my family is. It was just my dad, born and raised Tennessee. He was Tennessee redneck. My mother from West Virginia, and I tell people, I said, I get my redneck from my dad's side, and I get my hillbilly from my mother's side.
What part of Tennessee?
He lived in a small town called Maryville, and
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, not far from Knoxville. And I actually spent about 11 years up there from 1999 till about 2010.
The reason I asked is because my grandparents have a house up in Pigeon Forge.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I was wondering. I love going up there. Like, the weather is so mild in the summertime.
Yeah.
Like Florida, it's hot and it's humid and there's like water in your lungs. It's so humid, but like you go up there and it's like, it's beautiful.
Right. It is definitely beautiful. I just went up there this past October, went to the Smoky Mountains, went out there to Cades Cove, and took a ride out there. Took my daughter out there. She loved it. And I went out there to the park where we actually spread my dad's ashes. And I always go out there and just enjoy the scenery and sit there and think and refocus everything where I'm at and take it in and enjoy it and come back and just feel re-energized just to get away.
And I imagine there's a lot of terrain to do that because it's like mountainous. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of places you can go hiking, and
yes,
it's just beautiful up there. Like, Florida, it's flat.
Yes,
we don't get mountains or hills or anything like that. So it's always interesting, when I do visit Pigeon Forge, to see the mountains on the horizon.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's beautiful up there. Where did you grow up at? Did you grow up here in Florida?
Oh, I did. I'm so glad you asked that question. I grew up in a very small, uneventful town called Port Richey, Florida.
Really?
It's out in Pasco County. It's all like old people and families and alligators, and there's really not much going on. I say alligators. I mean, like, it's not like, we're out by the Everglades, but I live lakefront, so,
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not a whole lot going on in that town at all.
I've heard of Port Richey.
I'm sure.
Not much.
I'm
much.
Sure
I have not
you've heard
much.
Rumors, and those rumors are true.
What rumors is that? Is that where they were hiding Jimmy Hoffa?
Yes. No, I don't know.
That's where they're hiding.
It's a small town. It's everything that comes with a small town.
That's that's how Maryville was when I lived up there. It was just a small town. Everyone knew each other. They were really nice and polite and stuff. And you didn't have like one street light and one stop sign, did you?
No, there were plenty. There were plenty of stop signs. We have US 19, and I'll tell you what, traffic can get really bad.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. At an early age, you got into singing and dancing, and throughout middle and high school. What was that like for you, getting into singing and dancing, and what was some of your favorite early singing and dancing musicals and music that you got into?
Okay, so when I was about 4 years old, I was a pretty precocious little kid. I would sing a lot, and I just kind of had a knack for it. And I was getting to be around that age where I was going to be starting school, so my mom thought, hey, I want her to get used to being around a teacher, so I'm going to put her in dance classes. So I was the little offbeat goofball child in the dance class. I don't know if you've seen the memes. Like, there's a whole bunch of girls, like, arabesquing one direction. I was the girl going in the opposite direction. Like, I was the kid hanging off the bar. That was me. But, I eventually, started to focus and learned how to actually dance. I was about 4 years old. And then when I turned 5, my mom was like, do you want to do choir at church? And I was like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, you have to be committed to it like you are with dance. You have to go every week, and, you have to behave yourself. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, sure. And then that was kind of where it started. Like, I always had a knack for singing and dancing, and my parents just they were the catalyst that got me where I wanted to go with that. And I started acting when I was 12.
Right.
I got cast in The Wizard of Oz as Dorothy.
Nice.
That was my first play ever, and boy, did I need a lot of work. But hey, you know what? We all start somewhere. It was a lot of fun. And then the year after that, we did a production of Annie, which you can ask my mom and my stepdad. It was probably the worst, longest production of Annie ever. And we look back on it and we laugh, you know.
Right.
You look back on your old school plays and you're like, that was funny when that happened.
Yeah, you definitely do.
And then I went to high school at River Ridge, and that's in Newport Richey. They had a really good drama program over there. And I think, my drama teacher used to be on Broadway, so she was very much about, like, making sure that we were, you know, performing professionally.
Right.
And performing well. So I got good training from her. She was really awesome. I think probably my favorite production that I did in high school was Anything Goes. I got to learn how to tap dance. So I got like a little crash course in that, and that was really fun.
Uh-huh.
And then I went on to Florida State, and that was where I got my start in film. I got my start working with the film school, and I did a couple of plays up there as well. I think probably my favorite was Rocky Horror. I did the Rocky Horror Show.
Right.
I was one of the Transylvanians.
Oh, were you?
And we got to, I was.
Nice.
We got to tour to Orlando, and we got to perform there, and that was really cool. So that's probably my favorite experience from my younger educational years.
Well, the stuff I was looking at on you throughout when I was interviewing Stefanie Davis and Chelsea, I would stop and I would sit there and look at some stuff with you, and it definitely did show. I mean, you did pick up, you know, quite a bit there in your early years there, pursuing musical theater. Did you pursue musical theater through college? Okay.
I was originally going to school as a dietetics major, so I was going to be a registered dietitian. I was pretty into health and fitness, and I still very much am, but my second semester, because I transferred from community college, so I took all my prereqs and I got my AA, and then I transferred to Florida State. And my second semester there, it was like my first day after all my classes, and I was like, this is not what I want to do with my life. This is not it. And then it was tough. I didn't tell anybody for a while, but I went and changed my major to marketing.
Oh, really?
Because I had gotten yeah, I know, right? I'd gotten a marketing job over the summer, and I was like, I really like this. This is kind of fun. I could see myself doing this if I decided at any moment that I didn't want to be an actor.
Uh-huh.
So then I did marketing, and I was like, and I can use my business savvy to help myself as an actor, so it's really a win-win. But I still did plays, and every semester the Florida State Film School has auditions, so you can just pop in. They'll cast anybody who's good, you know, anybody that they want to use. It doesn't matter what you're studying.
Right.
And what I took away from that is they really do run their sets like a professional set. So, and I really, I liked that. You know, that was my start in film. So you could kind of say I was spoiled from the get-go. But they run their sets really, really well, and the production quality is always good.
Yes.
So that was my big takeaway, and it's a great way to get real footage. So, like, when you're starting out, you know, you can always do student films, and I had the ability to do that right in front of me, right on my college campus.
Right. Wow. That's a major change right there. That's jumping from being a dietitian to marketing, and that's awesome that it's helped you out right now where you're at and what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was a huge change for me because I had taken all these science prereqs, so they had to count them as electives, and then I had to take like accounting, and I had to take economics, and it was almost kind of like starting over. Right. And it kind of put me behind a semester. So instead of graduating in 2012, no, it put me behind a full year. So I graduated in 2013.
Okay.
So, but still, I mean, that doesn't matter now.
Right.
Because I'm where I'm at now.
Exactly. Exactly. When I was talking to Chelsea Wolfe a couple weeks ago, and she mentioned that one of her jobs she had was working at Blockbuster, and Blockbuster paid for college. And we were joking. We said,
my God.
we said that's probably why Blockbuster tanked, and we were just laughing about that. What?
Right?
Did you do anything in between going to college, part-time job, or anything?
In school or now or
in school?
Anytime
in like when you were in school and stuff.
I did.
Yeah.
It was at that the recession was kind of still kind of going on, and it was difficult for people to find work. And I was having a hard time like finding even a retail job because I had worked like office desk jobs, and that was where my experience was. So I think people kind of saw my resume and they were like, nope, not this one. But I got lucky because I had a part-time marketing job over the summer when I left after my first semester at Florida State.
Uh-huh.
So I did that, and it was for a chiropractor. So we would go to like gyms and events, and we would do like spinal screenings, and we would kind of analyze people's spine straightness, and we'd be like, hey, you know what? You can come to our office because we're awesome. So I did that, and then I worked at my apartment complex my last year, and I worked for rent, which was really nice. So everything I made went to my rent.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to.
It was another marketing. Yeah, it was another marketing job.
Right.
They had me like put flyers up, and I'll tell you what, like it was kind of sketchy. Because they were like, just go to these parking lots and flyer people's cars, and I was like, okay.
Oh,
and it was like that.
So you were one of the ones out there where you go in the parking lot there and just put all those flyers, and when people come out, they look at the flyers, and then some may be interested in it, and some may just like crumble it up, throw it away, or some may just like forget about it and drive down the road, and there goes the windshield, and they're like, what the hell's that on my windshield?
Yeah, or they end up like me, where they didn't even see it sitting on their windshield, and it sat there for weeks, and the ink came off on the glass. But, I digress. And, yeah, I was like, I hate this. Why do people do this stuff? And then here I am doing exactly that. How about karma, man?
Of course, man. I mean, you gotta do something. Pursuing a dream, pursuing your passion, and you gotta survive. You gotta pay the bills, because if not, it's like, what am I gonna do? And of course, I mean,
at that point, I was just trying to get through the last couple months of college. I was like, whatever. They're paying my rent. Exactly.
Now, to pursue acting, what made you decide to move to Tampa, of all places?
Well, so my last year of college, I kind of had like a weird, like, not breaking point, but it was kind of like an epiphany. I had gotten out of a really long-term relationship, and I realized like he was pretty much the only person I talked to. I think I had a little bit of social anxiety in college because I didn't socialize nearly as much as college students do and should. And I kind of realized like I was going to stay up in Tallahassee and, see what I could do. But then I kind of realized I'm alone up here.
Right.
And all of my friends that are here are going to leave, and they're going to move on with their lives, and I'm going to be alone.
Yeah.
So, and I thought about doing LA, and I thought about New York. And it was just kind of like, well, it's expensive, and, everybody goes out there. And I kind of just wanted to move back home so I could at least be with my family. And then, all my friends are here, all my family's here. I can work in Tampa, and then if I decide later on that I want to go somewhere else, I'll do that.
Right.
So, yeah, it was mostly because I wanted to be home, really, and I just wanted to be with my family.
Right. That makes sense. I mean, when I left Daytona when I was 16 and I moved up to Ohio, I lived up there with my mom for 5 years. I finished high school.
Oh, God, why? There's nothing in Ohio.
Well,
there's trees.
yeah, there's trees. Yeah, there's definitely trees. And there's definitely trees where I lived at. I lived on 10 acres of out in the sticks, out nowhere. You had this guy.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. You had this guy from Daytona, okay, who's been around oceans, water, and skateboards, surfing, and then he comes to Ohio, and there's no place to do that. Of course, you pass the time during the winter and you pick up snowboarding, which was great. But yeah, I had to get away from a bad situation at home. I mean,
gotcha. That's understandable.
Yeah, when I was talking about dysfunctional family, I mean, literally, I was talking about dysfunctional family. So I had to.
It wasn't just, normal bickering. It was actual dysfunction. Gotcha.
Yeah, it was me and my stepmother. We didn't see eye to eye, and as I gotten older, it got worse. It was a really bad situation. We'll say I ended up in juvie, and my mom bailed me out and basically told my dad, I'm taking his ass back to Ohio with me. He's getting out of here. So, yeah, that was one of those situations. So.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, it's good that you got out of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. I mean, yeah, there was good times, bad times growing up at home, but that was one of the things, and getting out of that environment and going to a new environment like living in Ohio was just, it was different. It was. And then just when my dad left Florida and moved back to Tennessee in 1995, I decided I finished high school, got done, decided to just be next to him. And that's what I did. And I spent 11 years there, like. Gotcha. Yeah. So that's how that happened. It's like when I tell people I lived in Ohio for a few years, they're like, what made you leave Daytona to Ohio? And I'm like,
yeah, right. Well, listen, there's an actual reason.
Yeah.
There's a method to the madness, I promise.
Yeah. It definitely was. It definitely was. I mean, yeah. Now, you're in Tampa. Okay, you're pursuing acting.
I am.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love hearing the point of views on this, and I'd love to hear your point of view on this. How did you meet Stefanie Davis?
Oh, that's a great story. We actually met in an acting class, and I met Chelsea in the same class as well. And it's funny because we were a couple years younger, and we were like, we hadn't really found our confidence just yet.
Right.
So we were all very different people back then. Like, we weren't as confident, and we were a little bit more timid. Well, except Chelsea. She's always been the witty, quick-witted, funny one. Right. She was like that back then. But, we were all kind of in different places, and we just we bonded over this class. And one day we decided we were tired of all the roles out there that were being auditioned, that were requiring nudity and just no substance whatsoever.
Right.
And the three of us got together. We just became really close friends over time. And we got together and we were like, why don't we just make our own films? Right. Oh my God, that's a brilliant idea. Let's do that. And then we were in a Waffle House in Brandon, Florida, where I live, right by my house. And we were just sitting around and we were just brainstorming, and we came up with this idea for a web series. And now we have our own little Facebook Messenger thread. One of us comes up with an idea. We're like, we need to do this. Here's my idea, blah, blah, blah. And Stefanie always tells me, write it down.
Yes.
Yep, write it down. I'm like, done. So
yeah.
That's kind of the short version of how we met. And we've been close friends ever since 2014.
That's awesome. I love that. I mean, I loved hearing Chelsea, how she met Stefanie. I loved how you met Stefanie, and then how Stefanie talked about meeting Chelsea and you. And that's great. That's great that you all come together with a passion that you love doing even today. And you basically just decided, it's let's just do our own thing. And I get it, man, because that's basically what I've pretty much done with building this network with my really good friend Chris Carnage, building podcasting network and giving people a voice and a platform to express themselves. And it's awesome. It is.
It is, and I'm very lucky to have them. we decided above all else, no matter what happens with what direction we go in professionally, we are friends no matter what. We stay friends. Friendship comes first, and then all the other stuff comes after that. So I'm pretty lucky to have relationships like that with other women, because sometimes you have close friends, but they're in different fields, and your friends from high school, you guys all branch out and do your own thing. So it's nice to have like really good friends that are also colleagues.
Yes, definitely have to have like really good close friends and work alongside them, and having colleagues, and it helps. It definitely does help. It definitely does. Speaking of working alongside Stefanie, how is it working alongside her, Stefanie Davis and Chelsea Wolfe? How is that when all three of you are in the room together, or you come together with an idea like you mentioned, and how is the chemistry? How is that?
Oh, it's a blast. It really is. So Stefanie, she's very much the very structured type A one that keeps a very tight ship, and Chelsea and I are just like, wee! We're like running off doing our own thing. We always come to her with our crazy ideas. We're like, Stefanie, we have this idea, and it's really great. And it's like something weird and random, and she's like, yeah, we don't have the budget for that, so no. But it's a great idea, and maybe someday. We're like, but Stefanie.
But write it down.
So
write it down.
Yeah,
you gotta write it down.
Line. She keeps us in line. There's always like the two like goofballs, and then there's the serious one.
Yeah,
that's how it goes with us.
Yeah,
and I'm sure Chelsea probably told you that when you talked to her last week.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat, because I could tell Chelsea's the witty one, and I loved how when being on the set, doing something, shooting a movie or shooting something for Bouncy Boxer Media, and just being on the set, what she does. I asked her if she did pranks, and then basically, she's like, when there's tension in the air, it's like, so how's everyone doing? I thought that was great.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So how's everyone?
How's everyone?
You mentioned pranks. We do not do pranks, but we do planks.
Planks.
So, yeah.
What the hell's planks?
For a while we had this. Yeah. For a while we had this thing where anytime the boom operator would do room tone, we would plank on the ground. And it was one of those, you better hold that for 60 seconds, and don't you dare fall, and don't you dare grunt, because you're going to ruin the take, and they're going to have to do it again. I know, right? We were doing that for a while. And then we just kind of stopped, but that was like a funny little thing. We did that on Migraine Hell a couple times.
I love that short. I told Stefanie I love that. I thought it was really great, and I loved the acting and stuff. And I haven't seen it in a while. Refresh my memory here. Were you the reception behind the desk? You played the receptionist, right? Yeah.
I was the sassy, gum-chewing receptionist that was like, yeah, whatever. And I like called her by the wrong name at one point, and I didn't give a shit. She did not. She sat there and chewed her gum and took selfies on her phone, and she would take personal calls on the clock. And I'm sure, we've all seen that one person.
Oh, yeah.
They clearly hate their job, so they just pass the time.
Yeah, they're just there. It's like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. You played that character really well. I mean, you kind of nailed it with this stereotypical, because I told Stefanie, and I told Chelsea, and I'll probably say this probably till the day I die. Speed dating is my favorite one that you guys put out, and
oh my god, speed dating was so much fun.
Tell me about that, working on that there and putting that together, because I was laughing when I watched it, man. I was watching it because just the characters were so stereotypical, and it was just great, fantastic. And I told Chelsea I loved the line she told you about, punching in the boobs to hold your dress up.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was improv. That was Chelsea. We just wound her up and let her go. I'm gonna punch you in the boob. Rude.
How was that working?
That was improv.
That's cool. That is doing speed dating. How was that for you on working on that there?
It was, oh my God, it was so much fun. Like, so Stefanie wrote the short, and we just kind of read through it, and, you know, we were cracking up, and we were like, we need to make this happen. Like, this needs to happen.
Right.
And the weekend that we scheduled to shoot happened to be the same weekend of the Gasparilla International Film Festival. So
wow.
We got through the first day of filming, and then we all went to GIF, and there was like an after party, and it was Saturday night. Yeah, so there was this after party, and we just went and we stayed out late, and I think we got in at like 2 a.m. and we rented a hotel room, and it was the same place we were shooting, because we were like, we know we're going to be tired, so let's rent a room. So we slept in the hotel room for like 4 hours, and then we had to set the alarm and get ready to shoot day 2 of speed dating, and the alarm went off, and Chelsea and I were both like, no. Stefanie was like, nope, gotta get up.
Gotta get up.
We were like, but Mom, 5 more minutes.
Mom, 5
more minutes, Mom. Yeah, and it was just a good experience. Like, we had so many talented actors that I had met just in the last year, and I was, you know, we got them to audition for speed dating, and they all did such a good job. And I don't know what else to say other than it was a blast. Right.
I loved the characters that were in it, and it was awesome. It was. It definitely
Thank you.
was.
We appreciate that. That was I think that was our second film that we did. And it did well. Like, we sent it off to film festivals, and it got like awards, and it went through the festival circuit for like a year or two. So, I mean, it did well. I'm proud of it.
That's awesome, man. And I showed my wife. I was like, you gotta check this out. And she watched it. She was laughing. She's like, this is great. I said, I know. I was like, it's
because dating is horrible.
It is. It definitely is. I've told my wife I went through quite a bit with dating and who I went out with. Someone summed it up for me really good at one time. They said, just imagine all those people that you went through, and to get to where you're at, and to get to your wife. And I was like, I never thought about it that way. And yeah, because it kind of prepared me in a way, you know, to be with my wife and to take on and, you know, expect the unexpected. And had a couple of like crazy girlfriends, and I mean, crazy.
Yep. We've all had a crazy ex.
Yeah. I was like, I'll never have a crazy ex. I'll never. Oh yeah, I had one. I definitely had one. One crazy ex I had this great idea. Once you move in with me, we'll see how it is. Okay, she moved in.
Oh God.
3 days. It lasted 3 fucking days, and she.
Oh my God.
I didn't know that she was. In 3 days, I found out she was bipolar. She was on medication, and when she left, the night that she left, and when we got in an argument and we left, I left. Well, I come back. She cleared out all my shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she took everything. She even took. Okay, getting down to taking everything. She took my freaking razors and toothbrush. I was like, "What are you gonna do?
God.
What are you gonna do?" I got
good.
I'm serious, Lexi. I'm serious. You ever heard of anyone doing that shit?
No, I've never gotten to that level of crazy.
I did.
I did have one ex that was a jackass to me. And he doesn't, you know what? He's so, like, 10 years ago, we don't even need to talk about him, but he was an asshole. That's all I'm going to say. And then the one after him, he was all right. I mean, we had a weird relationship. It didn't work out. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
And then I have my boyfriend now, who is freaking awesome. So, yeah, he's good. I like him. I think I'll keep him. I mean, at this point, it's pretty much set. We've been together 5 years, so I'm like, yeah, nice. I'm gonna keep him.
Yeah. They were telling me and my wife, we've been together 8 years, married 7, and they were there for a while there. They're like, well, it's like you two should get married because you act like a married couple. I was like, okay, yeah, we'll get married. So
right?
That's what happened. So we got married because at the point in my life, I was going to get the hell out of Florida because after I moved back in 2010, I said, why am I back in Daytona where I grew up? I'm leaving. And so I was about to leave, and then I met my wife, and everything changed.
And then, boom, the magic happened.
Yep, it certainly did. I love her to death. She's been through the ups and downs with me, and especially like with like people that we've lost. That's been in our lives. We were there for each other, embracing each other, and it's awesome. I wouldn't trade anything for the world for it, man. And I got a beautiful daughter.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was interrupting you.
No. I was going to say I got a beautiful daughter out of it.
Yeah, and it's good. And it's especially good like when you have a partner that you guys can go through some shit and still be standing strong together in spite of all that. Like, that's kind of what's been going on with us. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of family stuff going on his end, and we've just kind of stuck it out together. And I mean, it's affected us to an extent. Like, yeah, it's kind of put a strain on things, but like the two of us are fine. Like, yeah, we're happy together. He's a good guy, and I'm an okay person, I guess. I don't know. But we've made it work, and we're really happy. And we're 5 years in, and a lot of people are like, "Why aren't you guys getting married?" And I'm just like, we're happy where we are. Like, we will when we're good and ready. That's all I got to say about that.
Exactly. When you're ready, you're ready. You're going.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to take that next step. When it's time for you and both of you feel comfortable, you're going to make that next step. I'd have to say my wedding day, that was hell.
Oh, boy. God. Oh, man. I got to hear this story.
Yeah, my mother-in-law, I had to turn my damn phone off because my wife kept calling me. She was already there at the venue, getting ready and everything and stuff, and my phone kept ringing and do this, do that. Make sure you do this, do that. I finally said, you know what? I'll see you at the altar. I love you, and I'll see you at the altar. And I shut my phone off. I shut it off.
Yep.
And as soon as I got there at the venue, the first thing I said was, when I got out of the van, I said, let the bride know the groom is here, and let the mother know not worry now. Because that was crazy. It was
That's
stressful.
Stressful.
It was stressful. After party was just great. Had a good time, and I loved it. Most of what I remember of it.
Yeah. Most of what I can remember.
Yeah, most of what I can remember.
Champagne was strong.
Yeah. I drank so much.
A lot of alcohol.
A lot of alcohol. I tell you, a lot of alcohol.
I cannot.
Yeah.
2 drinks for me and I'm done. Like, Stefanie and Chelsea will tell you, like, 2 drinks and I'm like, yippee! And they're like, all right, you're drunk. Time to go home.
You're done. We're cutting you off.
Yeah, you're cut off. You're done.
You're cut off. You're lightweight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which is fine because I'm a cheap date. So, doesn't take, you don't have to spend a whole lot for me to get drunk. But yeah, it sucks because I can't hold my booze. It's funny. It's funny as hell, but everyone's like, damn, girl.
Oh, man. Now, are you a happy drunk or an angry drunk when you get drunk?
Happy drunk. I'm like, okay. Really, I'm silly for about 45 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. Good night. So, silly, sleepy.
Yeah, I tell my wife every once in a while when we have time for ourselves or we're planning time for ourselves, she says, I think I want to drink. I said, yeah, you do want to drink. She's like, why you're more excited about me drinking, than I am. I said, of course. I said, right. I want to be up front with you, baby. I want to get you drunk and take advantage of you. She rolls her
Oh, brown cow.
Yeah. So we always joke about that and stuff. And she could be sitting in a room, and I walk in and I see her on her phone. I'm like, "What you doing?" And she's like, talking to my boyfriend. I said, "Oh yeah. Tell your boyfriend to come back, come over Thursday. We need to finish that game of cards we were playing. Tell him I said hello." She just looked at me.
Rob and I do that. Rob and I will do that too. Rob's my boyfriend. If you didn't gather from that. Yeah. He'll be on the phone with someone. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Talking to my girlfriend." And I'll do the same thing to him. I'll be like, "I'm talking to all my boyfriends because there's so many. God, one's enough."
That's
Ain't that the truth?
Oh man.
That's also our joke. That's also our joke.
Right.
We're always like, "Yeah, I could never cheat on you because one is enough."
Yeah, I say to I say to my wife, she's like, "What would happen if something happened to us one day?" I said, "I'll tell you what." I said, "I probably couldn't get back out there in the dating ring, out there and date again." And she's like, "Why?" And I was like, "I'm too old for this shit, and no one would put up with my fucking shit."
Yeah. Right? Man, 5 years and I'm like, I hope I never, for any reason, have to go back to the dating scene. I swear to God, I can't. Oh.
I know.
I'm like, stay alive, Rob. Stay alive.
It's different. It's totally different. It's different from like anything.
Oh my God.
It is. Do anybody actually interacts with each other? Do they actually go out somewhere and look at their phones and interact before doing like conversation face to face,
Right? Yeah.
I know I sound like an old person. I mean, I don't know if I have the rights now to complain, at the age I'm at. I'm serious because a lot of people. I get this every fucking day. People look at me and they say, "Oh man, you're pretty young." I'm like, "No, I'm not." It's like, "Yeah, you're 20 something." I'm like, "No, I wish I was 20 something." It's like, "I just turned 40," and they're like, "No, you didn't." I was like, "Yes, I did. I just turned fucking 40.
I'll tell you what,
yeah.
People don't believe me when I tell them I'm 28. I'm going to be 29 Saturday. Holy crap, where does the time go?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're like, "What? You're 28? You look like you're like 20. I'm like, "Yeah, I know. So you can stop talking to me like I'm a child now. Thank you." People do that.
I hate that.
They assume that you're younger than you are, and then they think they can talk to you like you're a child. And I'm like, "Stop it."
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm your peer. Talk to me like a peer.
Exactly. I hate that. I hate that shit. When they
Oh my God, it drives me crazy.
It drives me crazy too. They sit there and talk to you like you're something, and it's like, "You damn millennium, get off your fucking phone and do something." It's like, yeah, I am doing something. I'm living life.
I'm doing work.
Yeah. It's like
work email.
This happened not too long ago. I was out. Where the hell was I at? I was out somewhere, and I was sitting down. I was out in public someplace, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking around me. I'm looking at, watching people. You ever people watch sometimes just to get a kick out of?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sitting there people watching, and I'm sitting there looking around, and I'm like, I'm surprised no one's running at each other, because nowadays everyone's looking down at their phone all the damn time. And I'm just sitting here looking, and I'm like, it's a beautiful day, man. The sun's out.
I know.
Cloud in the sight. And what are you doing?
I gotta say, that happened to me. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. I need to stop doing that.
No.
I get really excited, and then I'm like, "Oh, bleh." And then good God. That actually almost happened to me the other day.
Oh, really?
I was on my phone like an asshole, and we were leaving a restaurant. It was actually this weekend. We were doing T-Buff, and we left to go get food because we were hungry.
Yeah.
And we finished eating, and we got up to walk out, and I pulled out my phone, and I was fucking around on my phone, and there was an incline by the door, and I almost fell. And then a whole bunch of people at the bar were like, "Oh my God," and I'm like, "I'm fine." I'm fine. I didn't fall, and I'm putting my phone away. So yeah, it is a very real problem.
Yeah, it is.
That's what you should take away from this story. It's a very real problem.
It is. Especially that story. I believe it came out like years ago. This person was suing someone or something because they're basically being a dumbass, walking and looking at their phone, and they trip and it fell and hurt themselves and tried to sue. And it's like, well, you're the dumbass. You pull out your fucking phone and looked at it.
Oh my God. Situational awareness. Get some.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh. I try not to be like on my phone all the time, but
yeah,
man, when you're sitting down, like it's hard.
It is.
It's there, and you're like, all right, well, I got nothing else going on, so let me just see what's happened 5 seconds ago on Facebook since the last time I pulled up Facebook.
Yeah. my luck, I get bad reception with my phone. I mean, this thing, I mean, it sucks. So wherever I usually go, I usually don't have good reception. So there I am. I'm sitting there, and it's like, yes, I interact with the person I have to, and yeah, I just, if I was like in a doctor's office sitting there, and everyone's on their phones, there I am. I'm reaching for the magazines. I'm like, man, that's like, oh, Sports Illustrated. Hey, home gardening. Hey, oh, that's how you plant tomatoes without killing them. Oh, I'm sitting there like that. Yeah, so I'll pick up something. I'll read it. One thing I would definitely be excited about today, just tonight, when I did log on Twitter for probably the 20th time today, Hot Mess in a Wedding Dress trailer dropped today.
Yes, it dropped at 7:00.
Yes.
I am so excited. Yes. Dude, oh my God, it's been really hard keeping it a secret because, we can't reveal stuff. We can't post any pictures from set. We can't post any still shots.
Yes.
And I'm finally glad that people are able to see what it's about.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, it looks great.
It does. I love that. I loved how that was put together because I was cracking up with you and Chelsea there. I thought that was great. I did. I thought that was really, really great. I mean,
was it the line where we were like, anal?
Yeah.
That's probably what it was. Anal.
Yeah, it was that. I was laughing about that. You're sitting there drinking, and then you're sitting there smoking. And yeah, anal.
Yep.
I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait to see this movie because I cannot wait to see what everyone does in this movie and everything that happens and stuff. And I want to mention that our viewers viewing on Twitch, can you give a little insight about what Hot Mess in a Wedding Dress is? Or what you can without, Stephanie Davis coming at you without revealing too much.
Sure. Well, the trailer's already dropped, so I'll just go right ahead. Uh-huh. So it is about a girl who is getting married, and she's a little bit of an edgier character. She's not like the typical, I plan my wedding kind of girl. She doesn't, she wasn't really that kind of girl. And she's got this wedding dress that she got, or her mom helped her pick out, and she wants to connect to her wedding a little more. So she basically puts the dress on, and then she's trying to connect with it. She's trying to see, is this dress really me?
Right.
And then Hannah and Corey, her two best friends, come over, and shit hits the fan. Shit just hits the fan.
I can definitely tell from the trailer. I mean, yeah, shit does hit the fan.
Shenanigans happen.
Because I'm looking from the trailer right there. I'm already focused on, I want to see where this goes right here. I want to see what the hell happens. I want to see what kind of shenanigans go on right now because this is just so fucking great. It is. It is.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing it when it comes out next year, April 2019, if I'm right.
Yep, something like that.
Yeah,
Stefanie will know.
Yeah,
she'll know the answer to that. I don't know. Don't look at me. I just work here.
I just say lines and I do what I'm told.
Yeah, I just show up on set and act like a diva.
Yeah. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she knows all that information, and a lot of people ask me, they're like, "So when's this gonna happen?" I'm like, I should know, but I don't.
I'm only giving information on a need-to-know basis.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I actually told someone.
She does give us information, but I think I just don't pay attention.
Yeah. You're like,
I'm the
what?
worst. I'm sorry, Stefanie. I'm sorry you have to put up with me.
I'm sure she loves putting up with you. Oh, she's writing on the chat here. I can see it right now. She said, "It's a crazy story. Watch the trailer." Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I did. I'm looking forward to it. I definitely am looking forward to this because, I tried to get some out of Chelsea. I tried to get some out of Stefanie, and of course it's like tight lip. And it's like I was happy when I saw that. That was the first thing I seen up on my Twitter feed was the trailer for their Hot Mess and Wedding Dress. I was like, yes. I was like, all right, let's see it, because I know Stefanie's been putting out those cryptic messages on Twitter about editing and everything, and I'm like, yeah, she's getting that trailer together. She's gonna get it together.
Yep, she is a hustler.
She is, and she's one hell of a worker, and it's awesome with what she does and what you and Chelsea do with Bouncy Boxer Media. It's going to be great in 2019. It is. It definitely is, and
it's going to be awesome.
Yes. Stefanie says, "LOL, love you, Lexi."
That was probably after I apologized for being like, I don't pay attention. Sorry, Steph.
And one thing I skipped over a question here. I do want to mention. I do want to congratulate you on this past weekend at the Tampa Bay Underground Film Festival with winning for Best Florida Feature Film for NS 404 Providence. How does it feel to work on a film and get noticed and win something like that?
Oh, it feels great because, we made this film, and I'll tell you, it's very, very different from what I do with Bouncy Boxer. My boyfriend and I actually collaborated on it. He wrote it, produced it, and was the cinematographer for it, and I directed it.
Right.
And it's a stark contrast from what we do with Bouncy Boxer. It's like a sci-fi film with a little bit of historical fiction, and it's got a lot of dark undertones in it. Mm-hmm. And we decided when we made this film, we were like, let's just make something really, really good, and let's put something good out there that people will want to watch with an engaging story, and we'll see where that takes us. And it worked out really well for us because the people who do watch it enjoy it, but they're able to see what you can do. And, who knows? I mean, I think down the road it'll lead to us doing some bigger productions, and it'll give way to us being able to work with a bigger budget even. But, when people notice that you do good work and you get like accolades for that, it feels great. It's almost kind of like, this is why we do what we do. Mm-hmm. We make art and people see it, and it feels great. Yeah,
it does feel great. I mean, your hard work, it paid off, and people's noticing, and I can't wait to show people what else I can offer, and that I know that's a really good, fantastic feeling, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And we did get distribution, so I don't know when American audiences will be able to see it. It's kind of out of our hands at this point, but as soon as I know, I'll let everybody know.
Yes.
You guys will be the first to know when we know.
Yes. yeah, definitely. And I'll tell you, as soon as it hits Amazon Prime, I'm all over that shit.
Yes.
I definitely am.
I hope to God, it gets on Amazon Prime, because that would be awesome.
Yeah. And a lot of Bouncy Boxer media is on Amazon Prime, which I think is fantastic. I mean, having with several of the Bouncy Boxer shorts and webisodes. I mean, pretty much they've been screened pretty much over 20 film festivals in America, and won best ensemble cast, best webisode, best writing, and best comedy. And I asked Chelsea this and I asked Stefanie this. Now, going to film festivals to promote a film that you're a part of, acting in front of the camera, behind the camera, how is that like going to film festivals and meeting all these different people that is basically doing what you're doing and basically putting content out there and trying to get people's eyes on your product? How is it for you going out to film festivals?
It's really interesting because you get to meet a lot of different filmmakers from different walks of life. And they all, we all kind of have our filmmaking style, and we kind of it's really interesting meeting these people and kind of getting an idea of what goes through their head when they make the style choices that they make with their films. And, you sit and you chat and you talk about, what other stuff have you done? What do you guys do? And then you make connections, and then, sometimes down the road you end up working with those people, or you just stay really good friends and you just kind of support each other.
Yes. That's awesome. That is.
Yeah. And hey, you know what? It's a film festival. You pay money and you get to sit and watch movies for a couple of hours. It's pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. You definitely can't go wrong with that. Now, we're almost done with 2018. 2018 is about to wrap up, and 2019 is right around the corner. What can people expect from you in 2019? What can they expect?
That is a great question, because I honestly haven't really taken a lot of time to think about that. I know that I kind of took a step back from acting, and I didn't do as many projects this year. I think I took the year to kind of recenter myself and be a little bit more selective about the work that I wanted to do. And I think I'm ready to hit the ground running, because I feel like I have a new sense of focus. So that'll definitely be one of my goals for 2019.
Nice.
Yep.
That is. I like it. It's like what Chelsea and what Stefanie says. I mean, 2019 is going to be a great year, and it definitely is, especially with having Hot Mess and the wedding dress out next year. And
I think that's going to be a big thing for us, is promoting Hot Mess.
Yeah,
that's definitely going to be on the to-do list for 2019. But I really hope I want us to be on set together more. Yeah, we shot Hot Mess, and that was pretty much it. Usually, we have stuff going on all the time.
Right.
But this year was different, because we really just wanted to make a feature film. So we put all of our energy into that. So, it would be great if we did a couple shorts and a couple more, maybe another feature. Who knows? Probably not next year, because, we're still in the wake of Hot Mess and promoting it. But definitely after that, for sure. Yeah. We're not going anywhere.
No, you're definitely not. You're definitely not. Yeah,
y'all can't get rid of us.
You guys are great. I mean, who would want to get rid of you? I mean, you are all passionate and driven, and you're putting great content out there. And why would anyone want to get rid of you? Why?
Yeah. Why, guys? Why?
They'd be intimidated though, but you know what? It's like, fucking get over it and just enjoy it. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I say about that.
It's been fun. It has. It definitely has been fun. I wanna thank you.
This was a lot of fun.
It is. It is. And I told Chelsea this. I said probably sometime next year. 2016. I mean, 2016. Yeah.
2016. Yeah. Whoa, what year are you living in?
Well, Doc Brown is my uncle. Didn't you know that? Great Scott.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Must be this red I've been sipping on all night here.
So
yeah.
2019.
Yeah, 2019.
I think you mean.
Thank you, Lexi.
You're welcome.
2019. I mentioned this to Chelsea last week. I'd like to get all three of you on at the same time.
Oh God, yes, that would be triple the awesome.
I like that,
but also triple the chaos.
Yes, I'd love to, have that triple threat on and just see the dynamics and hear you all talk and stuff and get a really, really good, picture of how the dynamic is with all three of you in the same space. Everyone that works with you on film and stuff, I know they see that though, but someone that's outside that's gonna be interesting.
Oh, we may need that to be in video format. We wouldn't just be able to do that over the phone. We would all need to be on camera for that, and because it's hysterical, honestly. Some of the things that we say, we're always like, "Damn it, why was no one recording this?" So yeah, I'm just saying, if you want all three of us on, we're gonna have to do a video podcast.
Oh, I can make it happen. I can make it happen. I can definitely do that. I could pull that off. I definitely could, and that'd be great. But yeah, 2019, Stefanie, I know you're watching. Yeah, 2019. I want to get all three of you on. I know I said it last week, but yeah, sometime 2019. That's gonna be one of the things I want to do for my content is get all three driving forces behind Bouncy Boxer Media on one show.
Yes, make it so.
Yeah.
Let's make this happen. It's a thing now. You put it out in the universe. It's got to happen. Yeah.
And also, we got to see how many F-bombs we get Stefanie to drop during that podcast.
Oh, yes. Triple the chaos, triple the F-bombs.
Yep, definitely. I want to mention supporters of Podcast City Network. You can head over to podcastcity.net for the latest podcast over on podcastcity.net. And City Limits Taproom in DeLand, Florida, home of Draft Day. Brought to you by Podcast City Network. Head over to City Limits Taproom in DeLand, Florida for indoor-outdoor sporting events with the stage in the back for live events, much, much more. It's City Limits Taproom in DeLand, Florida. And Atlantic Sound Records in Daytona Beach. If you're looking for that vinyl record, cassette, or CD you may have lost, they may have it. So hit them up on Facebook, Atlantic Sound Records. And if you're in Daytona Beach, hit them up on International Boulevard in downtown Daytona. And you're looking to book that destination and get away from all Telltale Travel. Hit up Brittany Ambler on the podcastcity.net sponsors tab, and she will hook you up with that destination to get away from it all. And if you're looking for a podcastcity.net t-shirt like the one I'm wearing tonight, hit the sportsanitycustoms.com. They will hook you up with a Podcast City Network t-shirt and custom apparel at your needs. And if you're into some Kentucky Zone Wrestling, hit them up on Facebook for the latest promos and events coming to a arena near you. And that's it for the Everett Lee Show. And that's where I hit the outro music. And thank my guest for coming on, Lexi.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Oh, sorry, I interrupted the music.
No, that's fine. I talk over it all the time.
Oh, okay. Yes, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Let's make it happen for next year.
Oh, we will. Everett Lee signing off. Have a good night, and I will see you again next week for another episode of The Everett Lee Show.